Right, welcome to Rambling Achieved. Going to be doing a video in which talking about my most anticipated games for the year. Um, Unfortunately, because what I was going to initially do is just pick one release a month and split it into one half and then do the second half in the second half of the year. It's kind of slightly fallen apart a little bit. Um, I can only get 5 months. As I was looking around, there doesn't seem to be anything 100% confirmed for June. So we're just going to be doing the first 5 months. So as you can see on the screen, kicking it off first in January, Code Vein 2. If I had made this video a week ago, it would have been Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, but that's already out. Sinking my teeth into it now. Absolutely adore it. So glad to have that on Xbox. So there isn't much left for the likes of January. So I'm going to opt for Code Vein 2, which I am excited for. I end up 100%ing the first game. A it was a Souls-like, which definitely doesn't rival the likes of anything FromSoft has put out. Of course, there's just layers of quality that other dev teams they're never gonna reach that. But this looks really a big step up in ambition. As you can see, there's driving around. I assume that you can control that. I would be very disappointed if that's just going to be cutscene material, even if it's just something as simple as very on the rails, and you're not using it as like a full fledged um, piece of transportation that you can have full control over, even if it's just moving between zones and getting a bit of combat on it. I'd be happy for that. But yeah, just I really enjoyed this when I finally gave it a true shot in the first game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they cooked up with the sequel, because it does look a good amount ambition more here on display. And having sunk my teeth into Elden Ring and loving it, I'm something I did notice with Elden Ring is that there is an amazing game. Of course, I love it. It was my nom for Game of the Year, but I don't want all Souls likes to then aspire to be open world. Um, I think of the two, I definitely prefer the original style corridors looping in on themselves more so than an open world. But that's just me personally. I know some people really did gel with Elden Ring, whereas they can't click with the original formula. But yeah, this looks really cool. Um, Very close to release because I'm recording this on the 24th. I think it releases in like the next week, so we'll be sinking my teeth into it very soon. Right, up next for February, another late release in the month. There was a good amount of titles I could have chosen here, but I would be lying if I didn't go ahead and just lock in Resident Evil Requiem. Um, just They've really stepped it up a notch since Resident Evil 6. They hit their ceiling, and I know a lot of people criticized them for what Resident Evil 6 was, and fair point to them. When you were looking around back then, there was a lot of other developers taking a lot more risks, pushing genres forward and just, moving along with the times, and it did feel like the Resident Evil series was lagging behind a little bit, kind of just keeping in the realm of generic action, which just wasn't enough for a lot of people. So if they would have stayed inside of that formula only, they I don't think you'd see Resident Evil games still being made today, unfortunately. So they've stepped it up since Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 8 was an improvement in my opinion. It was less of a horror game, but it was more enjoyable as a whole. So hopefully they can balance it perfectly now that they've done their horror thing, they've done their first person action thing with lighter horror elements. Hopefully they can bridge the gap and add a little bit more horror to this, while also maintaining its amazing combat and amazing loop in gameplay. So yeah, really looking forward to this. It sounds interesting that it's going to be a little bit bigger, supposedly. Not open world per se, but bigger zones by the sounds of it, and just giving the player a little bit more choice in the way they're doing it. Supposedly 2 characters as well. There's still a lot of speculation as to what's appearing and what isn't. But yeah, just very much looking forward to it. Don't really want to know any more on it. It just feels like, yeah, I have faith in them. Like they haven't let me down as of yet, so I'm just eagerly waiting for, I think it's the 27th of February it's launching, so literally a month away, a little bit over a month, and I will have my grubby little paws on it, so can't wait for that. Oh man, now we move on to March. There's been more gameplay on Crimson Desert shown since, I believe, which I should have probably grabbed, but this looks fine as it is. People's most recent hands-on with Crimson Desert was very, very positive, and it's really, really cool because my biggest worry was that it would be using like Unreal and then struggle, as many games have this generation with the latest Unreal Engine. Supposedly it's working off their own engine, which is great. It gives them full control over what they want to do and allows them to be as ambitious as they're able to achieve. And that's the kind of positivity is that people were talking about, is that it's a lot more smoother than they had any hope originally as well. So it's really cool to hear that. We've heard nothing really on the story, but I don't think this isn't going to be a game where the narrative is probably going to be remembered at all. This is going to be in a very similar vein to Dragon's Dogma 2, is what this feels like. It's going to offer you a nauseatingly deep sandbox to just explore to your heart's content. It's got so many different things going on in there. You know, as you saw, like a weather balloon, you have incredibly fluid combat. There's fishing, there's climbing. You're able to use mounts, both horses and flying mounts. Like, there's so many things that this game is doing, and I can see why so many people are still skeptical. Still like, nah, there's no way this can exist. This really feels like, I've said it on Brandon's channel, I think up until now, the only really true feeling next gen titles so far for me that I've seen with my own eyes is the likes of like Death Stranding 2. I think it's been kind of a very safe generation. Nobody's been really wanting to rock the boat too much. This feels like everything that they're trying to do has no right to be executed. And hopefully they can do it. It looks absolutely insane, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. I think it's the 19th of March. And the cool thing about it as well is, I believe a few days ago, they posted on their socials that it's gone gold. So 99% of the time, that's it. It's locked in now. There's going to be no more delays. It is coming out. So very much looking forward to it. Yeah, can't wait for this, man. This is probably up there as one of my most anticipated games of the year. So really excited for it. Right, and then we move on to April. This is Pragmata. So I believe it is. Let me quickly check. I think it's Capcom that's doing this. Pragmata. Yes, game from Capcom. A really bizarre, unique game where, because when we first saw it, it kind of gave me like Death Stranding vibes a little bit. I don't think that's what they're going for at all. It seems when you looked at the combat when they showed it, it was puzzle based almost. So I have no idea what this game is going to be. It's purely just one of them things of like exactly in the same realm of Death Stranding 2, where people were just waiting and being like, we don't know what this is, but we're going to check it out when it comes out. And that's exactly how I feel about Pragmata. Like, I have no clue what Capcom is cooking up here. It's a very interesting concept, and I'm all here for it. Because, as many of you have probably noticed, stuff like, Deadly Premonition, I've rated much higher than anybody with a normal brain would. And that's because even if something plays terribly, is frustrating to play, is clunky, is kind of obtuse, if it is absolutely just full of heart and soul and is very, very different and we don't see anything else really like it, I'm much more likely to forgive the shortcomings of terrible combat and stuff like that. Because this is kind of what I love gaming for the most, really. Like, because obviously I love RPGs and Souls-likes and stuff like that, and when they're executed at their perfect state. But something that I really, really do appreciate is just looking at somebody's artistic idea and it being transferred from paper in Inception to a game in execution. And that's what Pragmata, I'm hoping, is going to be, is just this incredible, weird, one-of-a-kind experience. And I'm really, really looking forward to it. So, can't wait. Right, and then ending it because, as I said, there wasn't anything I could find that's 100% locked in for June. So this is May's release. This is the Lego Batman game that's on the horizon to come out. It's kind of crazy. They had a formula with Lego games for the longest time where they really didn't shake it up at all. It was kind of what you would expect, very run of the mill, and it was just a reskin for whatever IP that they were deciding to tackle. They got a little bit more experimental over the course of like the Xbox One generation, and then we had the Skywalker Saga come out, which just still baffles me that they went that hard on something, and this seems to be even more ambitious, which is really, really cool. So you have a lot of people, myself included, that are kind of disappointed that we're not seemingly getting a Rocksteady Batman game. I don't know if we're ever going to get another one. It feels like it just doesn't feel like anything's happening with that. So this is the next best thing. Like, the combat looks very, very good for a Lego game. There's a good amount of exploration. You're having the Batmobile. I believe you have the Batwing as well that you're able to use. And it's just pulling from all of the different eras of Batman as well, which is really cool. Just a complete love letter to the superhero and beloved IP. And yeah, can't wait to get my hands on it. I am much, much, much more excited for this than I was the Skywalker Saga. I was looking forward to the Skywalker Saga, but this is it. And I'm really interested in seeing where this Lego team goes next. I don't know who they could tackle next after this. Maybe Marvel, I would assume, would be the next thing, perhaps. But yeah, just incredible. Incredible, and this is coming out May. Let me have a look. When are you coming out, Batman? Lego Batman. So this is May 29th. A lot of releases very late in the months, I've noticed. Interesting. Very interesting. So yeah, there we have it. That is the first, in air quotes, First half of the year for games, given that we couldn't do a June title, unfortunately. I guess we'll throw in another May title and cheat a little bit. I won't grab the footage for it, but just shout it out. I believe Forza Horizon 6 is being slated for the May release window, so very much looking forward to that. I have the utmost faith that Playground will just, as usual, make some of the best racing games ever. So they've done that time and time again. I have no worry that this will be any different. So we'll be looking forward to that as well. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. And if you somehow stumbled upon here before Brandon's channel, make sure to check out the description down below, where his channel will be linked. And if you want to join a Discord with like-minded gamers such as yourself, make sure to pop a comment down below and I'll hit you back with the link. But thank you very much for watching and hopefully see you in the next one.